All the content uploaded in this channel are purely for educational purposes, and one should always do own research or consult an authorized personnel for taking position in capital markets. I am not a SEBI registered financial advisor. Hello everyone. I hope you all are having a little fun on this Sunday, and I am back with a new series that we have just started yesterday on stock market for the beginners. So today we will talk a little about indicators. Are you really excited? I'm sure most of the beginners are going haywire. Everybody you approach, you talk to regarding the stock market must be giving free advices. Somebody says it is VWAP, somebody says it is moving average, somebody says it is MACD, somebody says Ichimoku, RSI, eh, whatnot. You get to hear a lot about the Bollinger Bands and all these kinds of indicators. And in fact, there have been thousands of indicators these days. And the most advanced levels, or probably the highly paid indicators, being the market profile or the order flow indicators in the market. They would probably range from 50,000 permanent license to 2 lakhs for a permanent lifetime license. So that's the demand that all these indicators, not all the indicators are expensive. Most of the indicators are readily available from the traders terminal. But yes, there have always been some indicators that are developed for NT Ninja Trader or MT4 or AMI Broker that are really charged in big numbers. All right, so let's quickly discuss about these indicators. All these opinions are as per my understanding in the market from the last 7 years, and I don't have any intention to harm anybody's ideas. So I am trying to tell you what I learned from the market and what is my opinion about these indicators. All right, let's get into it. So today's topic, stock market for beginners and real indicators, is the topic. Right. So before we delve into the indicators that we get to see in the stock trading terminal, like those listed here, we'll also talk a little about the other indicators that I would want to really emphasize. Right. So, what are they? I have broadly classified these indicators into some categories. I'm sure there are thousands of other categories as well. Like I said, I would want to interpret it the way I want it, the way I see it. Right. So, it is worldwide news. News? Maybe this is a question. Is news also an indicator? Yes, my friends. For those especially who have just started thinking about trading, news is the biggest indicator than anything else available in the market. Right, we'll look into it later. And global markets. What are the global markets? Like how we trade in India, there are many countries that also trade, right? So each of those countries also would be having their own exchanges, indexes. So we will look at those indices, information, those global markets. And the next one, very important one for my life, is option chain analysis. So what is option chain analysis? We will briefly go through it. Again, we'll not dive deep into it, but I will give you an overview as to what do you need to look into from the option chain analysis from a beginner's perspective. All right, not the advanced one. Right. So what is next? It is a volume weighted average price. This is also something that I have always discussed in my videos. Right. That is something that I consider is very important. That is only one working indicator for an intraday player, is what I consider. Let's also look at a brief idea on what is VWAP and the last one. price action trading. I think 90 to 95% of the traders who trade would always talk about a price action trading. In fact, when I started, you know, into the market, I mean, when I was a newbie, when I heard this term price action indicator, I was shocked. And in fact, I just punched it in the Google as to price action trading. I mean, there is no indicator as such that I could see, but everybody is talking about candlestick pattern and all this. And later, maybe after 6 months to 1 year, I got to understand that it is not something that is readily available as an indicator or an oscillator kind of indicator in the trading terminal, but it is the way how price is responding. All right, so there is no hard and fast indicator as such, which is named as price action indicator in any of the trading terminal. It is just the movement of price. Yeah, so that's a little on the price action trading. We will also talk a little more into it in this video. Okay, so what is the worldwide news that we need to really focus on? How does this even bother our markets, Indian markets? Are we not really bothered about Indian market and Indian economy? No. Today, we as in India is dependent on various countries for various reasons. If I had to very clearly tell you, so that everybody can directly, readily understand, even a fifth class student, let's talk about COVID. What happened in the COVID? Who has developed these vaccines? It is immaterial whether they work or what is the efficacy of those vaccines, but who has developed this and who is manufacturing those vaccines? It is India who is the global leader in producing vaccines. But did we develop it at the first place? No. It was AstraZeneca or Pfizer or Moderna or the Novavax, or maybe Bharat Bio also came up with a solution later. But yes, who is manufacturing the world's highest number of vaccines? It is AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca is an Oxford University funded manufacturer or pharma company that investigated, did a research, and came up with this vaccine. But who produced it? It is Adar Poonawalla, the head of, I mean, the Serum Institute in India. So the world is totally dependent on various other countries for their living, for their economy, right? So this is just an example like COVID. Even for us to make those vaccines, we had to go to Americas for getting the raw material. But somehow they have stopped sending us the raw material for over 4 months. That has also led to some issues in India. So what I'm trying to focus is the world today is absolutely interdependent. It is interlinked. We need Americas as much as America needs us. So is with China or UK or Germany, or for that matter, many countries are linked with many countries, right? So that ways the global economy really is important indicator for us. Just because we got to know that COVID has come and WHO has declared it as a pandemic, the global markets have crashed. Why? Because if it is a pandemic, there will be a lot of death rate, lot of deaths, and in turn, that death rate will directly affect on the production capacity, the producing raw material, coming up with the finished products. So all these numbers will be affected, and that is nothing but global economy. I hope you are on the same page as what I'm saying, and it is no different if we talk about the Indian economy as well. So we get to see Nirmala Sitharaman, our financial minister, coming up with a lot of statements, updates, reforms, policies. into the economy, Indian economy, and I'm sure as a beginner as well, you must have noticed phenomenal jump in the bank nifty, especially on the day when Nirmala Sitharaman comes with some announcement, policy changes, right? So, so that's how important it is to keep a track on global economy or Indian economy. Right. So some of the very key points that we need to be on top of ourselves as a trader, it is our responsibility to be on top of this news are the Fed rate discussion in USA. In case the interest rates have been hiked or reduced, this number on the interest rate will definitely impact the market. But yeah, there is no hard and fast rules, right? Let's say, Fed has increased the interest rate. Do you think the market will go up? And let us say there has been one instance that last year the market must have jumped really high when the Fed rate declared higher. I mean, increase their rate of interest. There is no guarantee that it will happen the same this time because markets discounts everything, and sometimes if I had to say, market has no rational. It is not like you and me. It doesn't have a heart, it doesn't have a mind. It has absolutely no rational, and all this information must have already been factored into the markets, and that will come to you a surprise on the day when this discussion has happened and the Fed has announced the rate hike or rate discount. Right. So it is always important to keep ourselves on the top of this news, like, Fed rate hike, USA jobs data. They will publish the jobs data every now and then. And if they see a phenomenal jump in the unemployment rate, there will be an effect on the market directly or indirectly. And you need to keep a track on these dates to ensure, if there is a bigger market movement, you must be able to capture some part of the bigger market movement. I am absolutely practical person, and I wouldn't ask you or tell you to capture entire market movement because it is impossible for a common man like you and me, for a retail trader like you and me. That will never happen. Let's not look into the telegram channels or any other sources who says we only make profits. Don't get lured by them. It is absolute bluff. Trust me, if somebody can actually make 100% profits, even those lakhs of profits that most of the social media traders show you as a screenshot, if you think they can actually do that kind of wonders, why do you think they will come to you and ask for peanuts? Pay 5,000, pay 10,000, I will give you tips. Why would they even do it, right? It is fairly a trap that each one of you must understand. All right. So that said, there is one other topic that I would want to quickly discuss about in reference to global economy. That is industrial production data. So this is also a data pointer, industrial production data, that we need to stay a little focused. But yeah, if you ask me, all these are nominal numbers or something that we need to stay focused only to wait for a bigger move to happen in the market. Otherwise, the prime agenda for my channel is to understand the data properly. The data engineering for predicting the market is the sole idea of coming up with a channel like this. Right. So you should be aware of all this information on the global economy or the Indian economy. It can be Fed rate hike, USA jobs data, or industrial production data. If you talk about Indian economy, it is our responsibility to watch out for the major news in the financial section or some announcements by the finance minister and maybe an RBI policy. It can be a rate cut or a rate hike or anything. So every time there is a RBI discussion meeting happening at RBI, you should be aware of it. And most of the time, it will be done in the market hours. So oh, immediately there will be a run or a momentum in the market when this discussion happens. So this is something that you need to keep yourself aware of. And the quarterly reports and the annual reports. So in India, we follow a pattern. I mean, it is customary to the companies. I mean, it is a mandate. It is not customary. I'm sorry. It is a mandate to the companies, the public limited companies, for filing their quarterly reports in the public domain, right? So let's say there is a company which has been doing really well, and all of a sudden it has posted very bad results. So that will show its effect in the performance when the market starts trading the next day or immediately after the results being published. Right. So this is one good reason that you should be always tracking these dates. I mean, the important dates of the results being declared by major companies, especially those companies who are considered as heavyweights in Nifty. You should be tracking it and make the needful changes in your trade plan and strategy for taking according positions as you see the results, right? Yeah, so that's a little about the quarterly reports, annual reports, and all that. And let's also talk about global political events, Indian political events. So what happened in 2019 elections day? It is May 23rd, if I remember it right. Everybody is confident about BJP, coming up with a major victory. It's a one-sided victory, if I had to say. I was also very confident, but what happened? Although BJP won, what did market do? It has gone only one direction. It has just lured some of the investors, traders, and then it started falling down, and it had no thought of going back until end of day. Right. Why do you think it has happened? Do you think it is a bad news? Maybe or may not be. But it is immaterial. There is a big move is what it matters to a trader like me. Either market goes up or down is no matter for me. For the long-term investments, that will always be there. We wouldn't touch it just because there is a market elections or something like that. Only if we see a long-term bearish trend. When it was an event like pandemic, that's when you need to be alert and you need to move all your holdings and sit in cash. Absolutely zero holdings and sit in cash. I'm sure we will not be able to do it when the market is at the top. But yes, when it is fall down a little, it will not come back directly to 50% as we have already noticed. We were trading at 11, 12,000s and it has come down to 7,700s and then pulled back for over 100%. So I'm not asking you to pull out everything when the market is stopped, but there is an indication, and that is something you need to sense. And so that's about the global or the political events, as in if there is a change in the government, so the administration. In the very recent times, there was an election in USA, Americas, and what happened? Donald Trump is pulled down, and it was Joe Biden. If you have noticed, I mean, I'm sure most of you must have already noticed, but there is a lot of volatility in this uh, transition after the election results are declared till the new president has taken over the post. This 20th of Jan, is it? All right. So these political events would certainly make an impact in the market. I am not telling you whether they make a positive impact or a bad impact, but these might give us a chance to capture major market movements. In the intraday, you can absolutely gain better if you have a little uh, bit of skill to understand the data. But nevertheless, never give up. Keep trying, and keep trying the right way. Don't just use SMA and say someday, I didn't get money, I lost everything and all that. Do it right way. I mean, use some sensible indicators. Keep practicing it time and time again, right? And then you will automatically succeed if you use the right tools the right way and right number of times. Practice. It is only the practice which makes man perfect. We have been hearing this from our childhood, but when it comes to the market, do we actually do that? Even if you ask me, my personal experience, when I started with the futures, I tried something. MACD is something that I tried first, and then some Bollinger Band, some Ichimoku, some VWAP. You know, I just tried to switch and switch and switch in search of a holy grail, and one thing I have to tell you is that I never gave up. If I went wrong someday, I always used to understand why did I go wrong and what should I do. Eventually, when I say I tried Bollinger Band, I must have tried for 100 to 150 to 200 times. And then is when I can conclude that, this is bullshit for my trading style. I'm not saying Bollinger Band is bullshit, but, there are still some traders who absolutely use Bollinger Bands and make money. But that is not my style. So I have given up. What I'm trying to tell you is you should understand your style, right? What kind of trader you want to become? What is your skill? Is your skill math based or common sense based, or are you a quick reacting kind of person? Are you able to take quick decisions? And based on various other parameters, you should be able to understand what kind of trader are you. And after knowing it, you have to finalize that you want to be this kind of trader. I want to be a intraday trader. I want to be positional trader. I want to be investor, or I want to be scalper. I want to be a speculator. You should understand, you should do a math, you should calculate, you should understand, make a decision. I'm sure all of us are above 18, and in fact we must be about 25 also, and it is no time for us to joke. We are not kids, right? So it is high time we should accept our positives and also our negatives, right? Only then there will be a scope for you to learning. If you are not ready to accept your negatives, okay, you will not be able to understand a newer concept. If your teacup is already full, how can a new tea be poured into it? Only if your teacup is empty, somebody can pour a new coffee or a tea or anything and it makes sense. Let us say you have a stale coffee inside and I'm putting a new fresh coffee. Does it make any difference? No. So you have to empty your brain. You should be absolutely fresh. You should know your strengths, you should know your weaknesses, and be ready to accept what you want to do and move forward. If you understand it for the fact that you can't be a trader for rest of your life, give it up. You're not losing anything. There are a lot of many things in this world that you can do potentially as per your skill set, right? Okay, so there is a bit of GAN definitely, or while talking about indicators for the beginners, right? So let's look at global markets. What is this global markets, and how is it different from worldwide news? So it is a thin line of difference, as in it is a part of the worldwide news. But yeah, global markets, I'm directly referring to the stock exchanges across the globe. We have Asian markets. I mean, I just classified it as Asian markets, crypto, European markets, America market, and crypto market. So Asian market is something related to Asian countries, China, Japan, Singapore, and all these Asian countries. European markets, DAX, UK, Europe, Germany, and all that. America, Nasdaq, Dow, we all know it. We have been tracking it from the day we started tracking Nifty. We think, it is more important to see America's market than Nifty. So, all right, that would be known for most of the beginners also. And why did I mention crypto market? This is important because maybe when it was our parental generation, there was no crypto market, or crypto market was uh, there as a mafia, or nobody knew it much. There was a limited transactions happening, so there was not much of scope on crypto. But today, what do we see? Elon Musk is also supporting crypto. He was accepting payments in terms of bitcoins for the Tesla cars, and that was one big reason. There was a jump, there was a phenomenal jump in the pricing of Bitcoin. It went all the way from half a cent, 1 cent, $5, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 to 60,000 US dollars. Imagine, that was the hike in the price. Although it has taken a lot of time, maybe 10 years, but that's quite an achievement, or that's quite a big number, right? You invest only 10,000 rupees, end of the day you get to see some hundreds of crores in your pocket when the Bitcoin has traded at 60,000 US dollars. Isn't it a game changer in life? Across the globe there has been an acceptance of Bitcoin, and what has happened now? It has crashed, as in, I wouldn't say it has crashed, but it has come down a little, right? It must be trading at around 30,000 or 40,000 after trading at 60,000 all-time highs. But that's a part and parcel of the game, right? So our point of discussion is not the price at which Bitcoin is trading, or what is the moment of Bitcoin, but how does this impact? So when there is phenomenal changes happening in one kind of trading, it can be crypto, there will definitely be an impact on the other markets and other kind of trading systems as well. And that is something that we evidently saw very recently when the Bitcoin crashed. Did we not see a little fall in the markets as well? Go back. This can be a quick homework for all of you who wants to learn. And yes, there was a bit of fall in our markets as well. So I am trying to tell you that there might be a correlation definitely with the cryptos and the markets that we trade in. Right. Okay. So the next three are very important indicators. They are option chain analysis, VWAP, and price action trading. What is option chain analysis? I'm sure each one of you must be knowing uh, what is option chain. We have options available for trading for major indexes and all the contracts trading in futures. So I am really bothered about index, that is Nifty and Bank Nifty. So this on the screen is the option chain for Nifty. So on the left hand side is all about the calls. On the right hand side, it's all about the puts. Right. And if we closely notice, there is a gray area here on the call side, and there is also a gray area in the put side. So what does this indicate? So the gray area either side indicates those strike prices are in the money. Yeah. It can be calls, these are in the money calls, and these are in the money puts. These are out of the money puts, and these are out of the money calls. So that is a little I want to mention here in the option chain. I wouldn't want to go deep because option chain in itself is such a huge portion. I have to probably sit down for at least 30 hours to give you a little insights, not the full insight. And if you ask me, I spent over 2 3 years to understand what is option chain. But all you need to do from today to be an expert is to look at this option chain data every 5 minutes, every day you trade. It is very simple. Look at this numbers, what kind of changes in what category, as in, what is the change in OI reflecting with what kind of IV, with what kind of LTP. So I'm trying to quickly tell you that you should understand the relationship between all these columns that are mentioned here. It is very simple, my friends. If you're not able to understand the relationship between all these columns, OI, change in OI, volume, IV, LTP, change in price, bid quantity, bid price, ask quantity. So all these numbers are interrelated. And if in some day you are able to understand the link, the relationship between all these numbers and how it is affecting the market data or market price, you will then be able to uh, identify yourself as a successful trader. Until then, please do not conclude because there is so much in the gray area for you. I hope I am making sense. So I would request each one of my follower to compulsorily make it a habit to look at the option chain every 5 minutes, every trading day for at least 1.5 2 years. If you are a very quick learner and if you are able to make out the relationship between all these, and if you are able to come up with an algo that will do the job for doing a trading, you're the boss. I would really appreciate. But yeah, it took about 2+ years for me to understand this relationship and come up with a concrete understanding and tell you that I know what it means. Right. So you keep doing this part and someday you will succeed. So that's a little on the option chain analysis. VWAP is the next indicator and my most favorite indicator, the only working indicator in the market for intraday. Right. So, so yes, my friends, I mean, to look at this data in the intraday, on a day chart, it looks a little easy, right? I mean, it is coming down, it is going up, it is coming down, it is going up, and like that, right? If I decrease it to, say, 3 hours, there is a little more confusion that we get to see, right? And what happens with the 1 hour, it is a lot more confusion, right? And if we decrease it more to 15 minutes, even in the intraday there is a lot of confusion. In the same way, if we look at the 1 minute data, it is heck of a job to predict, understand, and take the right trade at the right moment, right? I'm sure each one of you with me. And this number is just a number. You call it a 3 minute candle or you call it a 15-minute candle. It has no importance at all, if you ask me. Yeah. All these oscillators indicators are just for these terminal traders, I mean, stockbrokers or somebody who want to sell indicators, somebody who wants to give you tips, somebody who wants to just make money out of uh, a beginner like you. But yeah, how does it make any difference? I mean, if there is a indication in the 3 minutes chart that the market is bullish, can it change if he switches to 15 minutes? Yeah, do you agree? I mean, today you are saying milk is white, and if it is tomorrow, You saying milk is black, is that even a sensible comment? No, right? Then how in the world are we believing it for the fact that when somebody says switch it to 5 minutes candle and you will get clear signal, and if you switch it to 15 minutes it is not, huh? What kind of analogy is that? So all these indicators are not good enough indicators. And to be very precise, these indicators were actually working when it was our parental generation, like 20-25 years ago, where, because not many people had these kind of systems in place, and those who had systems were really rich enough, were able to access some technical stuff like this, and this definitely worked then. But today, even in the option chain, there is so much of speculation that if you spend only 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you will get to understand a little about it. Trust me, it is not full information that you will be able to understand, analyze, but being on a little positive side is always better than completely on a wrong side. That is what I believe. So I want you guys to come to that level, to be on a little positive side than that of standing on a completely wrong side. Yeah, so that's a little about the volume weighted average price. So you can quickly do a Google on volume weighted average price. So I bought one apple at 10 rupees, two apples at 5 rupees, three apples at 4 rupees. You do an average, that is a weighted average price. So Nifty traded here uh, for this 15 minutes at this average price. In next 15 minutes, it traded at a different average price. So there is a line drawn to connect all these points, and that's it. So this itself shows that the average price of Nifty has been going high. Yeah. So this is one decent enough indicator for even a beginner or for an expert. But if I had to tell you, the India's market, I mean, the option chain or the option contracts are the highest traded options exchange in the entire world. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. And VWAP is not a holy grail. That is what all I wanted to convey to you here. Yes, it shows that price is going up, but you have to look at the option chain. Here, the price was going up, and what happened? It has come down again. How do we understand? Is there an indicator that shows holy grail where you never go into losses? Here it was okay. What happened here? VWAP also went up, went down. By the time uh, take any call when you see VWAP going down, so it has come already here. Maybe you must have taken an entry here, right? And when you exit here, it is a loss. So do you think this works? This is also not working. Okay, so that's a little on the VWAP. And what is this price action trading? Like I've already told you in the very beginning of this video, when the first time I heard this term, only price action indicator works best, I was shocked to my life, and because I did not hear it any time earlier. And when I punched in Google price action indicator, I was always getting AFL codes that go into AMI broker and anything else, but not any real time indicator like how we see RSI. If I go to these indicators, I see ADX, ATR accumulation, distribution, alligator, anchor, VWAP, all this, right? Like the same way I tried to do a price action indicator, but I couldn't find it anywhere. That is because there is no such indicator as such. So what is price action indicator? Let's look at this. So I think we discussed a little quickly on this price action indicator somewhere in my previous videos. But what the price is trying to tell us is all what it takes to price action trading. So let's quickly take 1, 2, 3, 4 examples here. Let's look at this candle. Yeah, close to Marubozu, as in it started here. All it did is go high, 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 and close at high only. It did not even think about coming down, right? So that means all those participants who traded in this particular time zone are absolutely bullish in the market, right? Let's look at this. This is a bearish candle. It started here and it was just falling like crazy. That means these traders were absolutely on the bearish side and believed that market will go down, and hence they have taken a trade like this. But yeah, is there any hard and fast rule that if this candle is absolutely bullish, the market will always go? You see it here. There is sideways consolidation and then it went up. So maybe a retail trader or a new entrant, new trader like you, or any beginner, after immediately looking at this red candle, he will be shocked to his life and scared to death. It happens definitely. It happened with me, you, and everybody who has started trading looking at the price. So, so there is no hard and fast rule for the price action as well. In the recent times, there have been a lot of speculation, lot of changes in the trading pattern, trading volumes, how the price is being affected in the markets in India. So something I can tell everybody is the chart patterns, not the candlestick pattern. Candlestick pattern is totally different than that of chart pattern, right? So this one particular candlestick is called some bullish candle or Marubozu. That's candlestick chart, right? That's candlestick pattern. And the other thing that I just mentioned is chart pattern. If we do put all these candles in a place, there are some patterns, established patterns that we get to talk about. Pole and flag. Okay. So it is assumed that if this stock starts breaking out, the high, the expected high will be equal to the length of pole it had for this particular flag formation, right? Or you can also see there is no round bottom here, but there will be round bottom, round top, head and shoulders, and there are a lot of other patterns, the chart patterns that we get to talk about. Yeah, so these patterns will definitely work on the long term. These patterns works like charm. These patterns work like magic for a long-term investor. But I doubt if this makes any bit of help in the intraday session. But yeah, you can definitely make some money in the swing trading, or as an investor, if you follow chart patterns, you will definitely make money. That is all I can tell you about the chart patterns. So, so that's a little about the real indicators. You know what I mean, real indicators now, right? All right, so that's about it for the content today. My friends, I hope you like the content. In case if you have any suggestions for me, please comment it in the comment box, and please share it, share our channel in this particular video, in particular among your beginners, friends into trading. All right, please subscribe to the channel and spread happiness. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a wonderful weekend. Get ready for the big game tomorrow. Bye bye.